Hello, everyone. All right, let's talk about print runs. Are sports cards being overprinted? And I'm going to say that's going to depend on your perspective, who you are, right? If you're a hardcore collector, if you can afford to buy several hobby boxes or a case or a large quantity of sealed product, then yeah, sports cards are overprinted. It's a terrible thing. The odds on even the upcoming top series one are terrible. They've been terrible for panini retail products. They've been terrible for a lot of things that are available, sealed product wise. But on the other hand, if you're a casual collector and you're actually looking for reasonably priced sports cards, then this is great news to see that these products will be available, that there'll be a good amount, and that it won't be getting scalped because of the low quantity, supply and demand. It's simple, right? The lower the supply, the higher demand, and then are there enough people who can fill that demand? And right now in sports cards, we're at a point where I kind of see things kind of restocking and things are kind of getting back to normal. Things are getting sitting on the shelves. There's available product for those who want to purchase it. And yeah, it's going to depend on your perspective. I mean, obviously, I open a lot of sealed product. You'll see a lot of sealed openings on my channel. So this is terrible news, right? I mean, to buy more of this stuff in order to get what we want out of it. But I think long term, it's a good thing that the supply and print runs are going back up compared to past years. I mean, even with the print runs being elevated, it's nowhere near what was done in the 90s, the 80s, the last golden age of sports card collecting. I recall being younger, I could go literally anywhere and find sports cards. In fact, that's what me and my uncle did for an entire summer, at least a few weeks in the summer. We went up and down, we hit every big box store searching for packs, looking at sports cards, hitting up different stores. And honestly, if you compare that time to what the hobby is now, I mean, even just in my local area in the 90s, there were over 20 shops, 20 hobby stores that sold sports cards, and now there are three. The hobby is not as big as it used to be as far as sports cards are concerned. So the print runs are nowhere near what they were in the 90s, even though if we're getting back to that point. Uh, Anecdotal story I can think of comparatively, compared to my experience where I could find the packs and buy sports cards whenever I wanted, whenever I had money. I watched in 2019, I watched some parents bring in their son into a sports card store and they purchased some packs. I think it was optic basketball. The packs were like, I don't know, something like $15, $20 a piece at that point. And they doubled after that, right, with the sports card boom of 2020 and 2021. So they actually got a good price on that. But parents dropped, I don't know, $150, $200 in the store, and the kid walked out with, I don't know, 8 or 9 packs of Optic Hobby. And to me, that was a really big eye opener to kind of where the hobby was, the direction it was moving in at the time. Because, okay, if my parents gave me $100, let's say I was back in the 90s and I had like, I don't know, $100 to spend in a hobby store, I could walk out with boxes of sports cards. I could fill up an 800 count and have, extra singles. I could be buying it'd be like a kid in a candy store, figuratively. But to see the parents and the kids walk out with just that small little paper bag with a very small number of packs, what do you get, 32 cards, those 4 card packs of Optic, it was just really eye opening to see how much the hobby has changed comparatively. I mean, yeah, sure, the kid could have pulled, massive autograph, but chances are he just walked out with probably not much to show for it. 30 cards is like what, 1/8 of that set? that would be his odds of pulling any given card in the set. So just a real eye opener, and that's why I've kind of come to the opinion where it's like, okay, in order to get the kids' interest, younger generation of collectors' interest, to compete with Pokemon, non-sport cards, Magic cards, Yu-Gi-Oh, what have you, even some of the more obscure stuff, Weiss Schwartz. Sports cards really needs to be more accessible to these younger collectors, which is why I love products like Panini Chronicles, even if it's completely overprinted and the valuation of the cards are pretty close to zero. I view these products, those are the kind of products that are going to enable the younger generation of collectors to uh, find the cards that they want and, hopefully put together a collection that they'll be able to cherish and to become those lifelong collectors, just like some of us older collectors have become over time. So, just to sum it all up, yeah, it's bad for folks who like to open packs, but it's good for the collector to have larger print runs. So, uh, yeah, it's gonna make my breaks a little bit more boring. But on the other hand, I only view it as a good thing for the hobby. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Just a few thoughts I've had regarding this topic. But yeah, I think that'll do it for the video. Awesome. Thanks for watching.